The Tales of D'aowVern.
Hello, and welcome, strangers and friends, back to the Strangers Guild live stream. This is Tales from D'aowVern. The Strangers Guild is not all here because it is not Sunday. We are doing a solo stream with our Death Domain cleric Dianthus. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Happily. Surprise everyone. We didn't know we were doing this today either. My name is Icarus, and I play the Death Domain cleric Dianthus, who is stuck on the moon and just had their first gay panic in 100 years. It's exciting. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. That being said, we are going to get started. For those of you that are new or just maybe don't remember, I like to give my players an opportunity to recap where we are on a personal and a campaign level for a point of inspiration. So if Dianthus, you would like to let us know where we are at right now.
Well, I'm still on the moon. That hasn't changed. However, it's been 6 months for Dianthus. It's only been 3 days for everyone else, roughly. And they have a week-long travel ahead of them, so it's gonna be even longer probably for me now before they get to the temple. The only way home is, what's it called? Breath of life? I forget what
The breadth of the heavens.
heavens.
It is breath with a D in there to
Breath.
signify that it is wide. Breadth is about like reach.
Yeah.
It's like a wide breadth is like a range.
Big old boy.
Big old
Yeah.
boy.
Big old boy.
In different ways than some might think, but we'll get into that later.
But yeah, I have been with Cal. We found Donna and Phineas and Dinah, and we have been walking with them again for about 6 months now. Cal's been friendly. I'll leave it
Yep.
at that.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I believe we're gonna do a little bit of what happened with the 6 months, like the in between, and then a little bit
Right.
of where we left off at the breath.
Right. So for people who have missed it, something that this campaign has a lot of is Doctor Who levels of time fuckery, where the events are happening achronologically, and in the case of Dianthus, a chance encounter with Hemlock, who
Yeah.
is a rather, up to this point, problematic tiefling,
Problematic, yeah.
resulted in Dianthus not dying necessarily, but being magically transported at around the same time, but in different methods and in different channels of being transported to Valia, which is one of the moons of D'aowVern. In Valia, they've spent about 6 months, as Icarus was saying, basically traversing rivers, encountering dryads and drow and all sorts of forest and fey people. But also, in the last group session, we did kind of jump through a lot of the 6 months, right?
Yes.
Because that's a lot to manage and to DM, but also just on a time scale, it's hard to do that when, Icarus is the only player separate from the party. That being said, we did leave with such a spicy moment between Dianthus and Kaal. But we're not going to start there. We are going to go back a little bit.
Rewind.
And Dianthus, if you could roll a survival check for me.
Absolutely. I'm okay. I'm okay at that. Ooh, 16.
16. Okay. For those of you that are thinking survival, well, we already know that Dianthus didn't get killed in the forest in the past 6 months. That is true. The reason I had you roll that is basically to check in on which moment we are going to come back. This 6-month period is going to be very similar to Supernatural, in the sense of this is the time where, for lack of a better word, your party has been chilling in purgatory. We come back, and this is a couple weeks after your big fight with the hill giant and the drow and the little bullywog. Like
That poor frog.
that poor frog got eviscerated. Oh, the little guy. Dianthus really messed up the little guy, but that's okay.
In my defense, he messed himself up pretty good many times.
That is also true. That's also true. I did, in a pre-session meeting, get with Icarus to discuss the items that they got from the encounter, but also we are made aware that since that battle, there was a lot of magic expended and a lot of changes in appearance, but also just in the dynamic of the group, right? Because up to that point,
It was just Cal and I.
yeah,
Until that point.
it was just so it was just Kaal and Dianthus, which provides different social interactions. When you introduce Donna, who is a Aasimar, but also Dianthus and Kaal wouldn't necessarily know this, but the main reason that the two of them have wings at this point,
it's because of her.
Because of her and an arcane attempt to help on Nordia's end of everything. For a majority of this 6-month period, you had Dinah, tied by the wrists, because of her dangerous history with you guys. And on a 16, I'm gonna say we're gonna come up to a day where you didn't, get ambushed by anything. There was no magic, magic elephant that stormed through your camp or anything. But we are going to come back to a time where y'all would be probably having dinner, setting up camp. Pretty much you, Cal, Phineas, Donna, Dinah, as you had been marching. And Dianthus, I'm going to allow you to kind of explore the people in the group. Have some conversations that maybe you've been wanting to have.
So, first of all, Dinah's not eating with us. I've tied her to a tree, probably further from the fire. If she's eating, it's not from any food I've given her. I do think the first person, actually the only person currently that would have my attention would be Phineas. Because Yarrow is currently wanted for his murder. And yet here he sits in front of me, very much alive. You said 2 years, right? That he's been up here? It's felt for him?
Right.
Okay.
Again, time is very...
It's very
wibbly
wobbly.
However, yes, Phineas, you can tell, and you knew Phineas before all this happened. And in the events of Brecon, and when that happened, it gave Phineas clerical and sorcerer abilities that made him, before, was more of an altar boy, kind of custodial type around the church, but developing healing powers and divine boons kind of elevates your status in the church. So even in a couple weeks and days before his demise, had gained some stature, and in the time that he's been here, he's noticeably more fit. It's as if he has, been surviving in the woods for 2 years and having to eat a all-natural diet. So at this point, you probably come up to him and he's tending the fire, I would say, just for flavor. Caught some sort of, wild hare type deal, cooking something up. real typical,
Cool.
end of adventurer evening activities. And what would you ask Phineas in this moment?
What do you remember?
What do I remember with what
Coming
exactly?
here.
Oh, well, I remember your rather timid friend in an uncharacteristic manner, uh, skewering me. I will admit that it hurt, and he kind of like raises his shirt, and you see like right between his ribs and his sternum, a gash where the blade made
Ooh.
purchase. It never quite healed right. I um, I used a lot of salves and dirt and mushrooms and other druidic material to try to patch myself up, but I will say, even when it happened, I don't think I'm angry at him. This has been some of the most insane, but also beautiful months of my life. But I do remember all of it, if that's what you mean.
Would you consider what he did to be a murder?
Would you consider what Dinah did to be murder?
Attempted.
Ah,
But I
well,
know she was of sound mind.
I suppose Yarrow was a bit more uncertain of the effects he was bringing, but I don't know. I guess it depends on if we make it back or not.
We will.
You're rather certain for someone who's spent a century in the basement.
I have reason to be certain.
And why is that?
I'm a century old. I've seen many people come and go. And I've been through a lot. I've gotten off a moon before.
You've been here before.
No.
I'm confused.
There's only 2 moons, Phineas.
So they both have.
It's not like it is here. But in a sense, yes.
Hmm.
Realms.
It does give me a lot to think about.
Like what?
Well, up until about a month before this happened, all I really had was faith in my gods being real. Now, knowing that they are just people in places that are far easier to get to than I had considered, that really changes what faith means, I think.
You think because now they're more approachable, they're less godlike?
I'd say so. If being sent here is not dying, and leaving here doesn't make you a god, then the people that live here are just sheep in different pastures.
Hmm.
Unless you're a god.
Do I seem a god?
I don't have the slightest clue what you are. But you helped a lot of people.
I was a mortician. So that's what I'm sticking with.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh. Oh. 12.
It's always fun. It's always fun deciding which dice you want to assign to an NPC. I'm gonna say this interaction, this is very like I feel like this specific part of the session is very video game-esque, right? Because
It is.
sometimes you're like sitting there and you're having a discussion with an NPC, and then they kind of like just turn away, and you're like, "What the heck? Like, I want more lore. I want more."
Yeah.
But like, you don't really persuade Phineas that you're just a mortician. Um,
Oh.
and he returns back to his task, gathering water, food, that sort of thing. I will say, on your low roll,
Yeah.
you also notice that, like, as you're talking, right, like selling yourself off as just like a mortician, and like, yes, he's seen you in combat, but like, he, in most of the time that he's known you, hasn't seen anything particularly miraculous.
Right.
He has started to notice that if you sit in one place for too long, the grass around you dies. And
Yeah.
the firelight that provides shadow off of you is dimmer than most. So it's like you watch someone in real time be like, "Ooh, okay, I'm not going to push this any farther." So there you go.
Okay. I'll leave him to his task because I did get what I wanted out of that conversation. It is good to know that he doesn't outright hate Yarrow, nor is he intending to like press charges when we get back. So good to know. I think after that, I don't know if I'm gonna approach her right away, but I will make sure Dinah is where I left her
Give me an
and,
investigation check.
isn't dying. Investigation, dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
17 plus 3. Yeah.
I will say on a dirty 20, you get, you see that at this point you've gotten fairly experienced in like tying this person up and like making sure that you've nodded correctly. There might have been a time like the first time or two where you like messed it up or something, and
Mhm.
she got away, but you brought her back, that sort of thing. But like for the most part, she's just hanging out, still fairly lips sealed, but
Yeah.
she's there. And because we do know that she is there for the entire 6 month period, I'm gonna say she doesn't escape or anything. But yeah, on that 20, she's good. She's there. Um, she does give you, and I touched on this last session a little bit, but like she does give you those very curt responses, and just in bringing up like, oh, if Yarrow will be pardoned, basically being like, that's not up to me, which isn't a lie, but
Dianthus
isn't.
doesn't believe her. Like,
There's
her
that, yeah.
voice has weight
Hmm.
with the people that probably will end up
Right,
making a decision.
right,
So, she is unfortunately still important.
right.
So, but yeah.
I will
Okay.
add, it is worth noting for those watching that Dianthus also wouldn't know the extent of how Dinah got here.
Correct.
So,
I still
yes,
don't know how
yeah,
she also ended up here
right,
because Cal was already gone, Donna was already gone, so neither of them would have seen M redirect that
right,
blast.
right.
Yeah.
So there's
So
that.
yeah, the only person who can tell me is her, and she won't.
Right.
It's fine.
So
There
yeah,
has
Cal.
been something that's been bothering him, but the only person realistically he could ask is Death, because asking anyone else would have to reveal that he does not have a heartbeat back
Mm,
home.
gotcha. I
So
I will say, as we think about this,
yeah,
because this is one of those times where in real time, like in with your character, right?
yeah,
These moments are happening as you are scoping out the gateway that you
yeah,
got to. So, as you're thinking about this, you do remember the encounter with the Fae family, the uh, the Eladrin sisters.
Yes. And I would have recognized M.
Yes, you
Yes.
recognized M.
She did look I did get description from Betty of like how different she would have looked, so
Hmm.
I have that information now as
Right,
well.
right. Distinctly different.
Yes.
And you did, you cut up the displacer beast. I didn't roll that as a combat encounter because
Cinematic.
it was more cinematic, but also it was something that has happened with multiple
Yeah.
folds of time. So that encounter, it did provide Cal with a magic item that he has had since you've known him,
The bracers. Yeah.
the bracers, and then the the family kind of quickly disappeared,
Disappeared.
right?
Yeah.
However, there has been some weeks between then and the now that your character is in. And I'm going to say that nightfall comes, and in one of the events where Dianthus is keeping guard of the camp, you know. But you do remember a night where you sense something surrounding the camp, and in going out to see it, you do come across the same displacer beast that attacked the family. And you had a couple nights where you saw it. It was one of those things where the first time you weren't quite sure, you're like, oh, it's probably a different animal, that sort of thing. But there's one night where a break in the trees reveals a pretty barren but also lively patch where the moonlight comes through, and the displacer beast is sitting in the middle of this small valley.
Is it just me or is it the whole group?
It's just you.
Oh, lucky me. Is there anything else in this area? Any other beasts or even birds? Anything like that?
Give me a perception check.
15.
15. I would say the only real thing that you catch is, like, yeah, sometimes there's birds, and this interaction happened a couple times before you had
Mm,
the moment that we're about to show.
yeah.
But each time it happened, it's almost as if it was looking for a more and more secluded place.
Huh.
So at this point, there's no birds or anything. There's pixies that kind of
Whoa.
more like fireflies, right? But nothing necessarily sentient or interfering. And as you think of asking death, you remember this night in this clearing with this animal, tails wrapped around and kind of, just a subtle semicircle around it, but with a familiar set of eyes as you remember death.
Oh.
And at the response of whatever you ask the creature, you hear death's voice.
An odd form to take.
Well, you are the one who inadvertently chose it for me.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not allowed to set foot on Valia. That doesn't mean that those who are sent my way can't be sent back.
Now, to my memory, have they ever done this before? Back on, um, you know,
No.
Earth. Okay.
Actually, give me a history check.
Okay. 23.
So, in the 100 years since you've landed, the only real interactions that you've had with death are the memory of being sent to D'aowVern.
Yeah.
However, this does remind you on a 23 of the one time something like this happened, It was a couple days after Yarrow brought Emrys to you. And in trying to figure out the way that his disease worked, you remember giving him a proven but somewhat experimental collection of flowers and minerals to try to break a fever.
Mm.
And there was a moment where Emrys, for lack of better word, you are certain expired. And you stand there alone with your only patient having died on you. But there was a moment where, as you are beginning to break down everything, sanitize the area, start the mourning process for Yarrow, Emrys's eyes opened, and they're not his own. And he put a hand on a vial that would be like among the collection of what you're trying to use. He picks it up, takes probably about a half dose, goes back to sleep, and you remember that he woke up the next morning. And that's what this reminds you of. But yeah. But no, not to this extent.
Yeah, I absolutely did not tell Yarrow. That was correct. Freckles in the chat, like, you didn't even tell me? No, he's fine. You've done this before. Sort of.
Believe it or not, you're not my only child.
Child.
Well, it sounds better than monster, or plant, or crop.
You brought him back that day. And yet now you've gone and taken him.
That's the curious thing with the transportation of souls. There's a lot of loopholes. I didn't take him as much as I received him.
Did you receive me?
Give me an insight check for what he's about to tell you.
Come on, baby! Damn it! Plus insight 5. Okay. That's not bad. 16.
16. It would have been simpler if I had. If I could tell you that you were a Vandarin who passed away and then I collected and then I sent you back. That would be simple, easy to put in the excerpt of your odd lineage. But you're a little more complicated than that.
Bianca called me a mistake.
She would think that. Do you watch any sport, Dianthus?
No.
I thought not. Well, if you had, you would be familiar with the concept of gambling on long shots. Players, racers, athletes who are expected to fail, and you put a rather hefty wager on them succeeding. Bianca did the opposite. Why would you make a wager?
Why would you bet on someone who doesn't have a guaranteed win?
Oh, because that makes it more fun. The bigger the risk, the exponentially more surmountable the reward. Bianca did not gamble on the long shot. I did. Or, I should say, I brokered the bet on you, the long shot.
If I'm the long shot, who's the short shot?
Ah, yes. That I can't necessarily tell you. It would mess with the game.
And if I don't want to play anymore?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think you really have a choice. The way that this game works is eventually, by not playing, the game corrects itself and finds a way to pull you out. You are my dark horse, but that doesn't mean you can't also have fun.
It's hard to have fun when I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, that's all part of the game. I can't lay it all out for you. And unfortunately, I can't lay out most of it for you. It's kind of part of the deal. But you're doing all right.
Being stuck on Valia is doing all right.
Well, it's more than I can do. And being stuck is a rather short-sighted notion, don't you think?
There's something I don't understand about being up here. Why do I have a heartbeat?
Ah, well, similar to how my domain holds the cold and the dead and the dying. Valia is quite literally opposite. Something cannot be dead and be here at the same time. So it has a way of rectifying such inequities.
And when we go home, it will be silent again.
That I couldn't necessarily answer. This is the first time I've ever seen it. But also, it is rather curious that you never developed a heartbeat. Usually, it takes a little time, but it comes around. You weren't supposed to be a cold killing machine forever.
But I was supposed to be at one point.
Well, yes, I'm sure you'll remember your arena encounter.
Barely. I only know that because Yarrow showed it to me. Everything else is gone. Can you answer for that?
Yarrow.
Yes, Yarrow.
At this point, the panther starts to walk. Like up to this point, it's been sitting down, answering you. But at this point, you see a curious walk back and forth. That makes this. Your friend is a bigger piece in this than you would probably expect.
What do you mean?
If Yara was able to reveal. Oh, that cheating little. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But the answers you're looking for, Yara should be able to help. Even if he doesn't understand it yet.
Fine. Is there a reason you've been following me?
Just keeping tabs. It is similar to how I sent this one back, gesturing to the cat. The only ones I can perceive in the state that I am in currently are those that were sent from D'aowVern. I can't possess any creature here. I just happen to get lucky that this one isn't from Valia, and that is why I can keep an eye out on the four of you.
What can you possess? Back on D'aowVern.
It's less of spectral possession as a filter of sorts. I can't go down and start, changing the course of battles, moving people. It's more of just taking voices and sharing conversation. At least as my chains are constructed.
Our chains.
You could look at it that way.
Thank you for speaking with me. But keep a longer stride. The others aren't really going to understand. They're just going to see a beast and try to slay it. Again.
I don't think they can see me.
Then why can I?
Why do you think?
I'm your child.
More or less.
We're going to get home, right?
That is yet to be seen. Can you roll
Do
a
you have
wisdom check
confidence
for
in
me?
Oh, absolutely. Wisdom. 18.
Gotcha. He gets up to leave, and you recognize that he said 4 of you,
Oh,
but there's 5 of you there.
you missed one of us.
Did I?
There's 5 total. You said 4.
Right. Who do you think?
Who are you? I don't know.
Oh, that's no fun. Take a guess.
Dinah.
It's not a terrible guess. But no, the woman tied up to the tree I have been able to see for a long time.
Asmar, then. I don't know her well, but she seems holy.
That's what she is. I was curious where your wings came from. That makes sense. Similar to me not being able to step foot here. As you could probably guess, I can't step foot in planes above this one either. And my assumption is that she comes from one higher than this. So, I don't know if I would ever be able to, not that I would particularly need to or want to, but I don't know if I could possess her, so I don't know what that would look like.
If it ever came down to it, could you possess me?
I truly wish that it never comes to that.
So yes.
The cat, without saying another word, vanishes into the trees. And that's the last time that you see it in your time on Valia.
Next, yeah.
We go by a couple days. The thought of that, I would say, is on your brain for a good
a lot. There's a lot of that conversation's on my mind. Yeah.
Could you give me another nature or survival check? Actually, give me the survival check first, and then a nature check.
25 for survival.
Survival. Okay, 25.
And that is a 6 on nature.
Okay. Interesting. I'm going to say a few more weeks pass, and you come across a village, completely encamped, but also connected in the trees.
Oh.
And most of the folk are ent, tree people. But there's
Ah.
also humanoids that come in and out. I will say your survival check meant that you weren't caught by them, and there wasn't like that period where the group got hog-tied and put in the middle, and there's a whole thing. Um, but y'all were able to kind of deduce that you wouldn't be welcome,
Ah.
and so you spend some time, just a couple days, trying to go around the city, and then realizing that it goes out too far, you kind of cut through. You feel like there's certain spots where you would be walking, and the ground would be even, but you would look to your right or your left, and you would see people walking in perpendicular or reflective spots. So like the tree
Oh.
canopies didn't necessarily follow the sense of like grounded physics.
Oh.
And it's the entire city is very, very Tarzan-esque, right? Like with the winding of the vines and the trunks and stuff. But I'm going to say with survival, you got through it fairly unscathed.
Great.
We are going to take a little break here.
This is Eva Clark of Colony Primus. There are 5 of us left. We don't have much time. We are en route to Outpost 1337 for NIC AP 1031. If you are hearing this, we need immediate evacuation. Please.
You come to the city, and because of that ladder check that was a little lower, you don't get enough to like fully entrench yourselves, right? Because for all intents and purposes, y'all are trying to get to a place, right? So
Yeah.
this isn't like the beach episode, or like the time where you get to like hang out and become fully entrenched and like go to school or something. But like there are a few evenings, because it's massive in a way that
Yeah.
doesn't really make sense, because y'all got close and you kind of scoped it out, and you could see the edges of town, like through the tree line. You'd be like, okay, it's
Yeah.
this wide, it's this wide. But as you kind of started to go around, it would extend. The city would get bigger, and then you were like, okay, well, I guess we'll go the other way, and you would see the end, and then it would get bigger. And so at times your party would turn around to try to re-navigate, but it's as if the forest was keeping you there.
Ooh.
So through some deliberation, probably making Dinah shut up a couple times, Phineas would probably be less excited to kind of traverse through this. Cal had a bit of a understanding, like he didn't know where y'all were necessarily, like he didn't have an answer really, but he was pretty keen on just kind of cutting through and figuring it out. What do you think Dianthus's response would be to this?
Probably the same as Cal's. Just keep cutting through. Eventually, either we will run into somebody who can direct us the way out, forcefully or otherwise, or we will find the end. So I'm
Gotcha.
on Cal's side with that.
Gotcha. For simplicity's sake,
Yeah.
you kind of cut through and find out that during the day it's better to like hole up somewhere, and then at night cut through and try to be hidden in the dark, or just kind of have as little interaction as possible. However, in the first day that you're there, you're able to pick up that there's a lot of Seelie court members. A lot of what you, Dianthus, would pick out from books as fairies and whimsical folk. But this city at night seemed to turn into something else, where there was one night where in real time you're walking and it was completely Seelie folk, and as the sun went down, members of the commoners on the street transformed and they were Seelie. Or unseelie, sorry. Seelie in the day, unseelie at night. And you realize that this place, this collection of trees, was as bright during the day as it was as night, but only because at night a whole different group of people would come out. There were torches and just as many bonfires and illuminating magics, and even though D'aowVern had people who could have dancing lights or prestidigitate or make things, it was ingrained in the culture in this city.
I think with this all in mind, I don't know that they are members of the court necessarily, but I do have the hunch, at least, that the gentleman that was with M and the two other girls, who Dianthus is assuming to be siblings, is not going to make the jump that that was a father yet.
Sure.
But at the very least, that the adult that was with them was Faye. Yes, because of how they disappeared.
Right.
I think he's going to be keeping an eye out for him or any of the girls to see
Interesting.
if they are at all connected to this bigger world.
Give me an investigation check.
Sure. Because I'll remind the audience, up to this point, I have no reason to think that M is a Fae of any kind.
Also, roll this with advantage because I am remembering you had a nat 20 with the interaction with Oberon, correct? The man?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
I'm remembering something that I granted you in session. So yes, roll this with advantage.
That is going to be a 19.
I'm going to say it took you about a week to get through the city. And with a 19, the most out of place things with this, right? Everything's new. Everything is crazy. Yeah. But during the day, you could tell if someone was not a member, a Seelie person, right? If an unseelie was in that space, they stood out.
Got it.
A lot. And this is something where at Dianthus, it probably took you a couple days to figure this out. But there were 3 interactions that you had that were distinctly out of place for how crazy everything was here. One day, you were walking and you saw a tiefling who was out of place.
Oh.
And you got closer and you saw Yarrow. And I would say you presumably went after this person.
Yes, because 1, hey, it's Yarrow, and 2, oh no, Yarrow's on the moon. That's not a good thing.
Right. And I'm not going to have you necessarily roll for, sneaking through and catching up, and if you're able to get to them. I will say, though, it got to a point where you're weaving through these gnomes and various light magics that are happening, and this person, you realize that similar to how when you are using your magic or in a area with a lot of vegetation, it starts to kind of die around you. Yeah. This person, as they run through the street, there's a moment of dark footprints that follows them. And as you catch up, you do see Yarrow's face. But as you kind of grab onto them to see the look on their face. It is distinctly not Yarrow's mannerism. And you have this moment of confusion. And while you're holding this person, he transforms into a woman with a material over her mouth. Elven. But it seems to be, maybe it's the mask or the hood or something, or their magic, but in some capacity, this thing is a member of the Unseelie Court. And something is familiar. And on a 19, I will say, it's not Lady M. But something about her eyes gives you that same feeling.
You think they think this, but they are also gonna be saying it out loud, but that's more of an involuntary thing.
What do you think you'd say?
Do I know you?
Give me a persuasion check.
Everyone pray for me. Oh! Okay. 18 minus 1 is a 17.
Gotcha. There's this feeling of distrust that you see on this person's face. How did you know to follow me?
You wore my friend's face.
Ah. You're from the material plane then, yes?
Answer my question first.
I don't think I will.
I'm gonna tighten my grip on her arm.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
I'm good at these. I'm good at these. I'm good at these. I'm good at these. Let me take a photo. That's gonna be a total of 25. Natural 20.
Every time. Jeez.
Sending you the picture right now.
Okay. You feel something try to grab your mind. And it, like, if your resolve wasn't so strong, you think it would be the worst pain you've ever experienced.
Ooh.
I don't know if you've ever, like, got your hand caught in something, or you, like, stubbed your toe, but you didn't get, like, the full pain, but you get that feeling of, like, if I hit that dead on, that would have sucked. Like, that is this feeling, right? But you feel that, like, in your soul. Interesting. No, you don't know me. But it would appear that my cause could use your talents. If, of course, you were not as pressed for time as you appear to be. We did meet once before. Your defense of my sisters and I was gruesome. And I feel we will meet again.
What are you talking about?
Surely we're not that forgettable.
What's your name?
You don't know how it works here, do you? You're gonna stand in the middle of one of the most bustling trade cities in the Feywild and ask a member of the High Court. I do think we will see each other again. But not on this plane. And as she says this, the entire city, like, corkscrews on itself as you see her pull out a quill and write. And I'll say with your natural 20, she writes a law in real time, and you do not see this person for the rest of your visit throughout the city.
Uh-oh. What? What? Hold on. She said my defense of her sisters was bloody. Is that what she said?
Gruesome, yes.
Gruesome.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what the fuck does that mean?
You don't know.
Okay. I have no idea. I don't have her name. Why would you give it to me? That's a stupid question.
No reason. No
No
reason
reason. No reason.
for yeah, no
Ooh.
reason for that. And you get through, and the rest of your after that, it seems like the city helps you. Like anytime you get to a point where you're like, all right, right or left, straight or back, the streets seem to open up, or you make a turn and it's immediately blocked by a group of people watching a performance or something. And the week ends and you get towards the outskirts of the city. And then you get to a point where there is a satyr sitting on the edge of town, and he sees your group. The funny thing is, it appears that he only sees your group. As you get closer, he says, "Did you enjoy your visit?"
Was I supposed to?
I don't think you're supposed to do anything.
Then no. I found it tedious.
Ah, well, that's too bad. I do have to inform you, though, that you can only get through this next part. I say only. You're not able to set foot for the next stretch here.
Why?
Well, because that's the rules.
So what am I supposed to do?
I don't know.
Why are
Find a
you here
different
then?
way. I am here to make sure that people from where you come from follow the rules.
Or what?
Or what?
Or
There
what?
is no or what. You follow the rules.
Oh, I should get phone a friend right now. He might look back towards Cal,
Mm-hmm.
because part of him is calling bullshit. If the only way it seems to be forward is the way that the satyr's telling us not to go, then he kind of just wants to keep going forward. But he's gonna look at Cal first and try and get a vibe check. I would have told Cal everything about that interaction with the fucking lady too. Like, holy shit.
And I will say, Cal also, like, at different parts, y'all had to kind of split up to kind of get through different things. Not like, oh, we're separating, like, we're gonna split up and meet later. It was like,
Yeah.
like you would be walking and you would turn around. It was very teenager
Wacky.
stuck in Disney World type deal where you're like, what the heck? And then you would just appear back together.
Oh yeah.
Again, there was more that happened in this trip in the city that we just don't have time for in real human time to discuss, but we will get to it. That being said, give me a perception check.
That's wonderful. 22.
22. You look at Cal and he's like, I do suppose that in mind the interaction that you had, rules here are quite literal. I don't think he's saying we can't pass. I think not setting foot is not a mistake.
Do we still have our wings, or at this point have they fallen away?
No, you do not have your wings. I will say on a 22, you have 3 thoughts that come to mind. One being the wings.
Yeah.
Another being trying to find a cart or some sort of vehicle. Nothing really comes to mind. The third thing I will say is, and I'm mostly just giving this to you because it was 22, but the horses that you got a couple weeks back.
I was just gonna bring that up.
Does come to mind. But what will you do?
Well, wings are a no-go right now, at least. So he's not keen on going back into the city to go find a cart. I think they're gonna reach into their pocket to take out the 2-horse figurine.
Okay.
And mind you, they don't know what exactly this is, nor how to activate it. So they
Right.
might just start kind of messing with it to see if anything happens.
Gotcha. Let me know what exactly you're doing to fidget with it.
I think if he can think back to that drow, and if that drow, I know he appeared on the horse already, but if the drow like spoke anything specific, like a specific phrase, or did any specific motions with the horse to command it, anything like that.
Okay, give me a history check.
Okay. Great, 10.
I will say on a 10, because it's not necessarily a high DC, you do remember Elvish was the language that he took up during the encounter.
Okay.
And you remember he said something, but you don't quite know what he said.
If I can't figure it out on my own, I will then walk over to Kaal and hand him the figurine.
Mm-hmm.
You were in the fight with me. If you remember what he said to activate this, then we'll ride it across.
You were the one who got us through that. And if you remember how it was that this thing was activated, I do think that the command is up to you. My experience with forms like this is that the rules for these are a little less strict than it is with that man over there.
So what, I wish hard enough and it comes to life?
I think it's more you say enough. I would choose a word. And you don't have to share it with me if you don't want to.
I see no reason not to share it with you.
Then choose.
I think he's gonna keep it in Elvish. I think he might just tell it to rise.
As you speak this, the ground below you turns pitch black. Not as if in shadow, as if there is nothing under it.
Oh.
And the entire clearing of trees that you're in, the city behind you disappears. And everything in front of you disappears. And it is just you and Phineas and Donna and Dinah and Kaal and the satyr in this place. I need you to give me an animal handling check.
Perfect. Absolutely. Happily, it's gonna fall on the ground. How's an 11 sound?
I am rolling
Not
for
great.
the others.
With
Okay.
creatures.
One slight correction. As you say this,
Yeah.
Donna is not seen.
Girl.
But you do feel as if she is there. You do sense that she is there.
Okay. A win's a win.
A win's a win. An 11. Also, give me a D4 roll. This is kind of a general luck type roll.
3.
3. Okay. Oh, okay.
I hope that's good.
Darkness that is on the ground around you envelops everyone one by one. First, Phineas is gone. Dinah's gone. It is you and Kaal and the satyr. And there's a moment where Kaal kind of looks around, realizing what's about to happen. And then everything switches to dark vision.
Ooh.
And Kaal is gone. But right before that, he's looking out, and you can tell that he can't see.
Even if it's a second too late, like even if he disappears before I can hold on to him, I would have started to reach out to like grab at his wrist, just so he would know that I'm still like there.
that split second, he goes, Dianthus, and he can't even fully get your name out as he disappears. You turn to the satyr, and you see it still sitting there, same person, but his eyes are empty. His skin is completely gone. All of his fur has fallen off. He sits rigid in that same spot. You found a ride. Will you name your ride?
Oh my god. This is the hardest decision I'll ever have to make. What do I name a horsey? I have a great pitch because
Okay.
I know technically it's 2 horses. We talked about this.
Right.
And they both have different names that are still kind of similar.
I will say yes, because they are 2 distinctly different horses.
For the normal one, shout out to my girlies if you know you know. I like to call that one Spirit.
Okay, Spirit, okay.
And for the what's the proper name? It's not Hell Horse.
It's a Nightmare.
Nightmare, thank you. They'll call that one Wraith.
Ooh. Great. Icarus, on an 11, you don't have great faculty of what's going on. And you feel you don't even get to say the name because you become shrouded in not darkness, because like when it's dark you can still perceive that there's something in front of you. You can't see, it's too dark, but like you lose the ability to flex your fingers, and you can't breathe, and you can't speak, and you spend an incalculable amount of time just in nothing. And then a deep blue fire envelops all around. And again, you can't see it because your eyes don't show color, but you can feel the fire around you. As you come to, you feel that days or weeks or months passed as you spent all this time burning and reforming and burning again. And you come to as the forest becomes first grayscale and dark, and then fully lit and as bright as it was before. Your hand in the flame of this mare, you feel an unconscious Kaal with his head on your shoulder. As the two of you ride through the forest, you come to a Phineas and Dinah who look months older, which the only real indicator is that her hair is much more unkempt, and his beard at this point is full on like dwarven in appearance. Wow. As you get the feeling that the 4 of you spent months maybe riding, and because the realm that you're in, or the power that you possess, or the freak nature of this item, you feel exhausted as you have completely experienced an ego death that comes back as you realize that the satyr, in telling you to pick your ride, watched your entire group get enveloped in this flame and vanish, and he is a memory behind you. Just woof.
Now, I know Kaal and I's wings are kaput, but Donna is different than us. Mm-hmm. Did she keep her wings, even though we lost ours?
That's a good question. She hadn't. However, as you come to, and fitting that you asked that.
That's
Because
what I was
as
asking.
I said, she disappeared right before everything happened.
Right.
You see a haggard, truly spent Donna land as the two of you, or as these two horses with each duo. You come across a clearing, and I'm gonna say this is probably a day or two before the time,
Ah. Yeah.
right? Donna lands, and you could tell that she has like gashes and a couple of arrows or like pieces of skin that have been like stripped away. And she, you're back,
What happened?
y'all. He he said you couldn't step foot. I got excited, and I tried to step foot, and I fell. And I thought y'all fell, but apparently not. And I came to, and I was flying over the tree line, and everything was back, but my wings were back, but I felt them fail, and I just fell. And I felt, oh, oh man, I felt a barrage of, I don't, arrows, spears, I can't tell, but I can tell you it's been a while.
Felt like it. Stay there. Just hold on. I'm gonna try to get. If we are now in a safe area, it seems like, then get Cal off the horse.
Mhm.
If he's still unconscious, get him in a comfortable position somewhere. And I don't know if I've had my magic since the fight, but I want to try and summon it to cast Cure Wounds on her.
Give me a Arcana check.
Hey. Okay. Dirty 20. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna answer your question, but first, as you are getting off of the horse, you realize up until this moment, the skin and bones that Cal was using to wrap around you was much less cute than the idea sounds, because his skin and bone had melted into your armor. And as you pull away, you hear the rip of sinew. But on a dirty 20, you get off, and as you kind of realize that you're on this mare, you watch the severely burned face of Cal and the tattered clothes reform, as you get the feeling that the mare, in the weeks that the two of you spent riding it, has accepted the two of you as suitable to ride. However, there is a few moments of just sickly burn that takes time to heal.
Yeah.
And I'll say on a dirty 20, you're able to heal, and this would probably take a day of resting and using magic and all this stuff. And you still have to make sure Dinah's still accounted for, and Phineas is probably going to have some scars. And like, this is the equivalent of course, this is impractical, but y'all have not ate or slept or had water in a impossible amount of time. So you are the only one who is even almost able to fully function. And it takes a full day of going around and just you like healing as much as you can, passing the fuck out, doing again over and over and over again. But you do get it back. Everyone kind of comes back to. And at this point, I know I said it was about a 6-month time frame, but I'm gonna say it's strange the way that time dilates, right? Because back in the real world, it's been a couple days,
Yes.
right? And here it's been about 6 months.
Yeah.
But y'all went to a plane, a zone of existence below this. And I'm gonna say it was abyssal in nature.
Aha!
And the time that's spent didn't necessarily age you, but it did go on for months. And your body is going to remember that physical trauma for a long time.
Sexy. Cool. Oh, what a
It was a wild animal handling check, I will say.
whoa.
It would have been different if, other things had happened,
Yeah,
but
but roll better. Yeah. Interesting. Went to hell. Perfect. To
Mhm.
get the horses back into their figurine status, I'm
Mhm.
assuming it's the same as summoning them.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna tell them to rest, like sometime in between, like healing everybody up, just
Right.
rest so that they can go back to their little cute figurine form and back in my pocket.
Right. We did talk a little bit before the session about what it would look like specifically for the mare, because
Yeah.
the horse, you say rest, and it goes back to the figurine. You do remember that the figurine was a two-piece, but it just goes back to the single figurine.
Yeah.
And at this point, the mare stands and waits for a command, but at this point, you can tell that it's not going to go. Like, strangely enough, you've spent enough pseudo time with this thing
Right.
to realize that it's not going to just Pokeball itself.
Hmm.
You can make the decision now, or I could say it took you a couple days and we can readdress it later. But like, this horse has attuned itself to you in a way where it either will not return to shape, or if you are going to, for lack of a better phrase, deactivate it, it's going to make some sort of mark on you or need some sort of adjustment. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what you would want that to look like?
You pitched the tattoo, and I'm digging it. Honestly, I do like the idea of it.
I'm going to say that in the day or two that y'all are healing up, it takes a lot of negotiating, right? You also realize that as this horse like stops to eat, the typical horse, right, before you put it in its figurine, would eat apples or fruits or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The nightmare would go around as you like set up a fire or to different parts of shadow in the clearing of like the trees or the fruit, and it would actually eat the literal shadow of things. You would see it as at one point you feel a burn on the back of your hand while you're prepping something, and you look over and this mare is consuming your shadow. And like the fire kind of expands a little bit. But this thing, it has a very parallel physics to it. And I will say, at the time where it gets, we can adjust this later.
Mhm.
However, I'm gonna say, at least for this first time, you tell it to rest before going to bed, either to keep things covert or to just not be looking at it anymore or whatever. And it nestles itself on your side, and as it does, you feel a shearing pain across your ribs as a deep black and red flame tattoo appears across your side, and you can't see the mare necessarily, but you do realize that when you are sitting around the fireplace, or if there's like a torch, or if someone lights something on fire, that is the only point where you actually see the horse
Oh,
inside of the flames that are now on your side.
I showed Cal. I'm showing him. Look at this fucking shit, dude. Oh my god.
I'm gonna say give me a charisma save.
Oh no. Okay. Okay. Pray. Not horrific. 12.
12. This is probably the day before what we're getting to, as in
Yeah.
now.
Uh-huh.
When you show Cal the tattoo, you see a pained look on his face, but also a light chuckle, a almost disparaging laugh, in the sense of like, I remember that, like kind of a shared trauma. And
Cal stiff.
he puts his hand on the flame, and you think it's going to like activate, or like the mare's going to come out, and you kind of like flinch a little bit. But as he does, you see a elemental, like water tattoo that Cal has on his shoulder turn into a falcon purely made out of water, and fly around the camp. Just like 1 or 2 circles, and then it comes back, rests on his shoulder, and the water like runs down his arm and like over you. But both of your tattoos lie dormant at this point. Dianthus, I am so sorry. That was a lot.
Why are you apologizing?
Well, I told you to try it out, and it worked, I guess.
It worked. Yes, you were right.
You're a little less shaken by this than I am, it would seem, but
Given everything that's happened, I've seen worse.
fair enough.
You're shaken.
More than I have been in a long time.
Why?
He motions to the bracers that he wears. It's been a long time since I've been burned. Typically, I'm immune to such things. I forgot what that pain was like.
Then I should be apologizing to you.
We have nothing to apologize for.
I burned you. So yes, I do.
That's understandable. At this point, Dianthus, we're gonna jump just towards like right before y'all go to sleep. Is there anything that you would want to say to either Dinah, Donna, or Phineas at this point?
Yeah, I'll go talk to Dinah.
At this point, this is the most haggard that she has appeared, right? Like, this has been a rough experience, but like her eyes are like there's the that
1,000 yards
was
there.
yeah, just what do you want?
I'm checking to see if you're still alive, unfortunately.
It's gonna take more than death to kill me, I'm afraid. Ah, boy, I haven't laughed in so long. That was painful.
Do it again.
Fuck you, Dianthus.
Why are you here?
Your poisoner friend, apothecary, twisted my toy against me.
Oh, poor you. The same one you used to send us all here?
Well, I mean, the same one that I sent Kaal here with and Donna here with. You were someone else.
Hemlock, I know.
I don't know who that is.
Can I insight check her on that?
Yeah.
Because I don't believe her for a second.
Yeah. Go for it.
Oh, 13.
She doesn't know who that is.
Oh. You weren't aware that there was someone in your church intending to kill another individual in your church.
If you're speaking of your purple friend, no, I was not aware. And she's being openly facetious. Like, she's not trying to hide it, right? But
I'm
also
gonna kick
no.
her.
But also, you kick her? Okay.
I'm gonna
Give
kick her.
me give me an unarmed strike. Just
Oh, for
roll.
yeah. Just like in the leg or stomach, anywhere I
Okay.
can fucking hit. Ooh, 17.
Okay. You do hit.
Great.
I'm gonna say that for the next few days, she's gonna walk with a limp.
Perfect.
That's just a little,
That's
yeah,
a flavor in
yeah,
it,
just a little
yeah.
flavor. That being said, you do gather based off of roles and things that she didn't know about Hemlock because she knew Hemlock was arrested
Uh-huh.
after she showed up the first time.
Right, right.
But you also get from the conversation that even though Dinah, something over the last few months, obviously besides the nightmarish nightmare, um, you've started to realize that like Dinah gives a lot of fake power. Like it's deeply entrenched in insecurity, and
Uh-huh.
it was really easy to come off as powerful when no one was close enough to see you every day dealing with how little power you have.
Ah.
And so yeah, um, she was dealing with a lot of bad, nefarious magic and stuff, but she wasn't the one holding Hemlock.
After I kick her, I'll kind of kneel so that we're at least somewhat eye to eye. Did you know what you were going to do to Cal and to Donna would send them here?
I was told it would put people away that were in my way. So
By
yes,
who?
I'm afraid I don't have a name, but you don't have to
Scared
believe me.
little girl. I don't.
Did you say scared little girl?
Mm-hmm.
Give me an intimidation check.
For sure. It's my -1. 12.
Okay. You see a hurt expression for a brief second. And in this moment, you are brought back to roughly 100 years ago when you stood on the town square and this hurt girl stood in front of you, but just for a second. And then you're pulled back to your situation, your setting.
I vividly recall you saying once that you wished for a life where you didn't have to take orders. And here you sit, still taking someone else's order.
Oh, there it goes again. Ow. Ah, this is not. You are naively unaware of how things work back home. I don't take orders necessarily, just taking consult. And someone who apparently likes to mess with me, or has a very fucked up sense of humor.
And you never got a name.
I think the last. You see the 1,000-yard stare for a second. The last few months would show you that that can mean more than you think.
So he's Fae.
I don't know. I just never got a name.
Idiot.
That couldn't be their name.
It's yours.
To some. But you've wounded me, and I'm going to sleep for the first time in a long time. Please. We're close. I can tell.
When we get home, understand the only thing standing between you and M will be me. Don't give me reason to stand aside.
Who are you actually trying to get home for?
Gonna get up and walk away.
As you do that, we actually jump to the moment you kiss Kaal.
Uh-huh.
And like I said the first time, up to this point, your wings have been gone.
Yep.
You've been camping out of the portal entry. It's weird because it's a portal because of the presumed effects, but it looks more like a temple that is kind of sandwiched between the sky and the earth, like different sides of it.
Oh.
On one end, it is ground with pillars and broken buildings, and then on the other end, it is also ground and pillars and buildings, and both sides have. It would kind of be an amphitheater if there was an open sky, but it's just two sides of the base of an
Oh.
amphitheater. That being said, as Dinah asks you who you are trying to get home to and for, um, presumably you all go to sleep or whatever, but we jump to this moment where, to my recollection, Dianthus is like, well, if we're gonna die anyway, that happens.
Yeah, well, that's the thought process of
Mhm,
this is feeling very serious. There's a good
mhm.
chance we might not all make it out.
Right,
You've been leaving hints. I just figured it out. So fuck it, dude.
sure. Um, and again, up to this moment, your magic, except for the healing that been able to do, hasn't been like fully there. And for a second, an onlooker might suspect that it is because of the emotional beat that has just happened. That you feel like a liveliness and the wings come back, and you and Kaal are both upright and energized. But that is short lived because like I said last time, you pull away, and Yarrow's face is the one that comes to mind. And if you could give me a perception check with
Oh,
disadvantage.
oh, for sure. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Dianthus, I need you to roll 2d8 for me.
Sure. Happy to do so. Where's my D8? 3 and another 3.
Oh god.
6.
This moment, as touching as it could be, does distract from what y'all are trying to do in camping
Yeah.
out and establishing a safe perimeter. Something that you didn't notice as y'all got closer, right? You kind of broke camp, and up to this point, the forest was kind of clearing, and you get to this point, and it's actually a long cliff that hundreds of feet below you has surf breaking on gnarly rocks. But any direction, right or left, you see it goes on forever. And similar to other moments that you've traversed across this wild, you know that if you tried to fly either way, it would go on forever.
Got it.
And it's strange because you can look up and see the sky, but in the Colosseum in front of you, once you cross a certain point, you look up and you still see the Colosseum. There are no stars. You look up, and roughly 70 to 100 feet above you is the floor of this pantheon. That being said, as this kiss happens and you break away, surrounding this area was a bunch of statues
Oh no.
that during the day, I explained last time as having a lot of elementals kind of going around, like water and
Yeah.
air and fire, and it seemed less than aggressive, more of, hey, if you cross this, it could spell trouble, right? But on that check, which is understandably distracted, you miss night falling. And as this happens, a collection of these statues crack and crumble. And you would have caught it if you weren't distracted. Because dozens of these humanoid figures come to. There's a single... It's interesting because they're made of stone, but they give the impression as if they are meant to be scarecrows on a different form, right? These are, instead of straw and fabric, it is stone and clay, but they give the same like terrored looks across their face. Their arms are out gangly, but as night falls, they fall to the ground, and they all perceive you in that space. There are a number of elementals that, as the sun sets, have become distinctly more humanoid in their presence, but also more aggressive. As you hear as everything like breaks and comes to, and you find yourselves, even though you and Kaal are flying in this moment, Donna whips around with her spear as I will remind you, you did cut Dinah loose.
I did.
And as she picks up a single concrete kind of, it would be a sword if it was made out of iron and material, but it's just a big, essentially
big brick.
A big brick. Phineas is there. At this point, he's kind of abandoned weapons. He's just a full-on brawler at this point. Still has magic and stuff.
Yeah.
But the five of you are immediately surrounded as one of these statues appears to be more, not in charge, but seems to have more of this magical surging through him. And what makes him distinctly different is the fact that even though they're all made of stone, this one specifically, his head is enveloped in green flame, and whereas the others have elven and humanoid features, this one is just a skull with its head on fire.
Oh, God!
A harbinger of death dares to approach the heavens.
I'm just trying to get home.
You speak of home, yet reek of death.
I won't bring it if you don't make me.
It's too late for that, I fear. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Fantastic, absolutely. 21?
You hear this, and you're flying, and again, you've had some weeks and months to kind of get used to it. You didn't have them for a little bit, so it's a little awkward. But the 21 was basically like, were you able to collect yourself and kind of remember how to ride the bike? In this sense, you do dodge something jumping out at you as you see a humanoid woman with piercing red eyes and fangs lunge, and as you dodge, you see it grab onto Kaal, holding onto him by the wings as he falls to the ground, and you see these different elemental and ominous skeletons. Some of them seem to be arcanely driven with like a natural energy that would be almost living. Some of them, however, you see like ghostly auras around them, and you get the understanding that they are being possessed by something. That being said, at this point, elementals have attacked Phineas, and Dinah is holding off one of these like concrete scarecrows. Donna is kind of flying and running for her life. Kaal is on the ground. Dianthus, at this point, I'm gonna say we're not gonna start the combat here, because as you look up, you see a split, as if no. There are talons that have started to rip open the circle stage of both sides. You look up and you look down, and in both parts, in the very center of this portal, as you look up, you see the familiar cliff sides and the water and the trees of D'aowVern, of home. And below you, you see the diamond and jeweled and dirt surface of Obus.
Oh.
And that is where we're going to end tonight's session,
Oh.
with the understanding that at the start of next session, you are going to be rolling initiative for fairly obvious reasons.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god.